Let's get Let's get into it. Episode 692 of Sold Not For Sale podcast. And CNN got the business. Did you hear? CNN got called out. They went over to the Middle East. They're like, we're CNN. We're just, and there were some people that were like, nah, we know what you are. And I don't understand why that doesn't happen in the West more often. I really don't. I don't get it. And Joe Rogan's going to be talking about it. Then I'm going to show you some clips. There's a few clips. I'm going to show you the clips of CNN getting called out while they're out in the field, doing their coverage. And then I'm going to show you some clips of them and other news stations just outright lying. It really makes you wonder, when it comes to, I guess, just news in general. I want to say wartime, but when it comes to news in general, it's so hard to tell what you can believe and what you can't believe. And it's not because there's so much information. It's because they lie. That's why. So I'm just going to be showing you that. Let's go into the Joe Rogan clip first, and then let's hop over to a bunch of other clips that I'm sure you're going to love. Let's get into it.
That's what I mean.
National news.
I checked on
Is it?
Wikipedia.
You sure it doesn't come from China?
No, I mean, the sites I was finding it from were like this. It said it was like according to reports, and it's like, okay, well, let me find your reports. So I that seemed like a legit site. I'll just leave it with that.
Okay.
Because like it says the family made a statement. I was going to go with like the family statement. Then kind of trumps everything, and that's where the statement came from, and that's what they're saying. So,
well, obviously that's not normal.
Right. If that's real, that's crazy.
Yeah, if that's real, that's crazy.
But that's almost like what you have to say with any sort of news that you see now. It's like, man, if that's real, that's crazy.
Yeah, we were talking last night about this Chinese website. Duncan was talking about it, right? Where it looks like a news website,
right?
But it's all positive news about China. English language, positive news about China.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember being in a hotel room. This is randomly just like Sacramento Punchline. I'm just chilling in the hotel room, just going through. And then CNBC, I think it's CNBC, is one of those channels, is just running a piece about how great China is handling this and this situation.
You see CNN got chased out of Palestine yesterday?
Aren't all the foreign news?
Well, they were going after CNN. CNN was in Gaza with fucking helmets on the ground, and people were fucking screaming at them, fuck CNN.
Ooh, well, like the people?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. If I'm a Palestinian civilian and I see American news networks, I'm not like, I'm like, oh, the amount of damage you've done against us, that's how I'd feel.
Well, that's how they were feeling.
Yeah, I mean, that makes absolute sense. It's like, I don't know, they sometimes have this like, oh, we're Americans, we can just go anywhere. It's like, we've done a lot of damage around the world.
We definitely have. Jamie, I'm going to send you something else. Go ahead.
We have not, I hate when I hear the term, we have done so much bad. You're responsible for slavery. You enslaved me. Like, you weren't there. You're not on the Lakers. It's not we. There's people on the court, and you're not on the court. So there's no we in this. We haven't gone and done bad things all around the world. Unless this guy is leaving and doing bad things all around the world. When people say that, I'm like, come on. It's not you. Don't be ashamed. We're so taught to be ashamed, man, about everything. You couldn't even get him to name the things. He'd be naming things that governments do, and that he's like attaching that to himself somehow. It's like, how does that work? But anyway, CNN did get called out. And you know what? They didn't get called out because they were American. That's not why. It's because it's CNN. That's why. It's because you and I both know what CNN does. You see it in your own towns, in your own states, in your own country. You see it. You see what they do. That's why they're calling them out, because it's known worldwide that these people spread a little bit of propaganda, and they get called out from time to time. So let's bring it over here. This one is this lady. Now, she is on the Palestinian side, and she is calling out this woman who is, if you haven't seen it, she's the woman who recently laid down because she was trying to escape missiles. Because when missiles are going to hit, you lay down on the ground, and that's how you avoid them, apparently. I'm going to show you that clip in a second, but let's start here.
A country that's claimed free speech. Your customized democracies actually want to let the Hamas. And now we are watching an occupation, and we are watching the result of your silence, of your misrepresentation of Arabs, of your dehumanization of Arabs. What do you have to say for yourself? You have a duty.
7 sisters.
You have a duty to say what's right.
And 3 brothers.
I want your voice to be recorded. I want your voice to be heard. I actually, away from the cameras, as a human being, I genuinely want to know what you think, why you would do this, and the fact that you don't realize the extent of your lying. And it's the U.S. advocates for a designer's democracy, and we suffer for it, and it is unfair. But you don't hear me. If you heard me, if you really heard me, you would quit your channel. Just like your ambassador, I don't know who did. Some humanity. The U.S. gave the okay for Israel. Carte blanche.
I'm just, why doesn't this happen when CNN's walking down the street in New York and all these places? I mean, now that I say it out loud, they actually don't do that. They only go to the other places. Again, the same way they teach every single citizen to have their eyes on other nations, they themselves have their eyes on other nations. So they never even think of being like, let me do an expose on what's going on in Philly, because that doesn't work towards the narrative, because then those politicians have to answer for that. And it's just like, and they're all just, it's a whole, I don't want to use the word collusion because that's been used to death on Donald Trump, but like they're all together. They're all together. That's what I'll say. Very, very interesting. But again, she's on the side of the Palestinians, and that's fine. I've said my piece on that whole thing, so I don't mind at all that she's on the side of the Palestinians. But I just like the fact that she's calling out this newscaster, saying like, "What? You're outright lying." That's something. That's not just something someone who is on the side of the Palestinians could say. That's someone who is from Michigan could say, someone who's from Minnesota could say, someone who's from New York could say. This is something that so many people all around the world could be saying, but we don't. And I really don't get it. I'm going to move on to another clip. This clip's like 5 minutes. Then you go here. Let me just see.
Israel has reached you.
Yeah, it's basically 5 minutes of this woman getting berated. She pretty much just stands there. She knows at the same time, even though she's getting berated, she is creating content that she's going to be able to use. I mean, it is her cameraman who's standing there. And then let's go to another one. This one's a little more outright. This gentleman is not playing around at all. At all.
You are genocide supporters. You are not welcome here. Genocide supporters. CNN. CNN. Genocide supporters.
All right, you see that people are very angry. They do not like the way in which that CNN has been reporting the story. You hear that, but we're fine. But what you are seeing is the heightened fear, anger, frustration with what's happening in general, whether it is us. There's a general anger. People feel that Israel is getting more support than the Palestinians, and the Palestinians feel they're getting bombed. And
see, this is the thing with this. She's correct. That is what the overall of that crowd is. But that gentleman was coming to her because she worked for CNN, and he knows that they lie. He was getting in her face for a reason. And she's kind of just being like, it's because of Israel and, their whole he's just really mad. And he's really mad at you. Just like if somebody from Philadelphia who's walking through literal zombies and has to watch their toes for syringes and whatnot and has to make sure their store doesn't get looted, that person would have anger towards CNN as well. You could say it's because of the overall situation, but, it's directed at her right now. At her and her organization. I love to see it. Again, I don't care what side these people are on. I just love to see somebody standing up to these people, because I never get to see them. Do you ever see them? I never see them out. I've never been walking around and I just see someone CNN doing anything, Or else I would. I'd pull out a camera. I'd be like, I got to interview you quickly. Give me some answers on this. Now, this is the same woman you saw in the first clip. She's avoiding rockets. Now, you're going to hear a voiceover in this, and as much as I would love for this voiceover to be real, it's not. It was created by a channel called The Quartering, and they made up this this voiceover, and it kind of spread like wildfire throughout Twitter. But the fact that she is laying down while everything is pretty normal in the streets just speaks volumes. I'm going to show you another clip of that in a second.
Yeah, we're getting video through now, Jerry. Now, you can see the area is completely deserted, but I want you to get them off the road, get them laid down next to the road, okay? Closer to the road, Jerry. Move them. It looks like you're in the middle of a forest.
Get down. Close.
Okay, Jerry, tell the cameraman to keep Clarissa in shot, okay? It's not the Blair Witch Project.
You're fine.
That's it, perfect. Okay. Get nice and close. Get the cameraman nice and close.
That's the Iron Dome, okay? That's the
Now look around, Jerry. Just look around as if you're in danger. Try and look nice and scared. Yeah, that's it. Catching your breath. Dead scary over here with all the bombs going off and all that.
Guys,
Okay, that's beautiful. That's the money shot. Nice and tight on Clarissa.
are you seeing our situation, guys?
Tell her yes.
Yes.
Can she hear the shells, Jerry? Because they are about 6 miles away.
Can you hear the shell?
Now, the reason that I'm saying this is fake, you know why? Because, again, I keep talking about this. I'm very upfront about my biases. I have many Jewish friends. I grew up in a Jewish community. I know people who are in Israel. I just saw a video of a guy who lives in Israel. This is real. And he was watching exactly what they're talking about, which is not really happening for them. He was watching missiles being intercepted by the Iron Dome. And he was just filming it. He's like, whoa. Of course he was a little chilled because he knows those missiles are trying to, they're trying to get to him. But he's just like, whoa. He goes, you guys see this? This is crazy. That's it. For some reason, he didn't have to lay down. And this is someone who has a bomb shelter. He didn't find a need to do any of that. But for some reason, when all of a sudden these cameras are on and everything is being put in front of the American public, all of a sudden now it's time to lay down. That's not how that procedure goes. Just so you know, I literally, firsthand experience. I'm on my Facebook. I see a guy literally doing this. The Iron Dome, the exact thing. And then there's another example of this. I got to make my screen smaller. Look at the side of the screen. Look right here. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Look right here. Just watch right there. She's laying down because missiles. She's doing the exact same thing the other woman was doing. She's laying down because of missiles. Watch.
Și se pare că s-au oprit. Cu siguranță este și infanteria israeliană care interceptează toate aceste bombe. O să mai rămânem așa puțin pentru că niciodată nu știi exact când se opresc bombardamentele. Și totuși gata, s-a făcut liniște, să încercăm să ne ridicăm. Sunt destul de aproape de noi în momentul ăsta. Și se pare că s-au oprit. Cu siguranță este și infanteria israeliană.
People riding bikes. There's people walking around, and another guy just goes by on a scooter. But yet this woman's laying down. She's like, "Oh God, I'm trying to escape the missiles." This is what, and this is, and you can obviously hear she's not even speaking English. This is just a worldwide thing that people do, or I should say that journalists do. It's ridiculous. Just making things up. This goes back to the old video. I don't know if you ever seen it. It was Anderson Cooper, and he was standing in a flood. He was like up to here, and he's like, it's flooded, and then there's guys just walk by. It's like, man, this is the reason why their ratings are plummeting. This is the reason why so many people are turning to Twitter and YouTube. This is the reason why, because these guys just make things up. They don't display their biases, which I try to do all the time. They don't display their biases. They're completely beholden to some golden handcuffs, some organizations in all sorts of industries that are funding their companies, whether it be pharmaceutical or it be defenses or it be agencies. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is why people don't trust this type of stuff. This is why people are in CNN's face saying, fuck CNN. Of Of course. Anyways, guys, if you haven't liked the episode already, like the episode. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe. And again, that was with Joe Rogan and Hassan Ahmed. Pretty good episode. He's an up-and-coming comedian. I liked it a little bit. There wasn't too many clips in there. I'm going to show you some other stuff, but it was a Rogan episode. It was one of the basic ones. They talk a lot about stand-up comedy. If that's not your thing, it's just, I liked it, but you probably wouldn't. Anyways, guys, other than that, I'm out.